Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Rusty Toolbox. On this episode, we are going to get this BMW 540i running and like new and just purring, hopefully. All right, so we are inside the 1998 BMW 540i. Last episode, I talked about how I got rid of the Sirocco and ended up getting this for $1,000, which was a steal and a half. So the only issues were there were some cosmetic things, and the engine wasn't running very well. There were some codes, and he had taken it to a shop, and they said that there was a leak in the intake manifold. So I got it home, got a bunch of gaskets. We are going to be taking off the intake manifold, taking off everything, the fuel rails, and disconnecting all that stuff to get to the intake manifold, then taking that off, putting new gaskets on there, checking for any cracks or anything else that might be suspicious. And then we're going to be putting that back together. There were also some issues on the exterior. This door right here behind me does not have a door handle on the inside, so you can't open it from the outside or the inside. There was broken glass on the passenger side, and you can see that I fixed that. Very, very easy to repair broken rear view mirror glass. You basically get a screwdriver, you pop it out from the back, and I don't have the old one on me, but it's really easy. There's just two little connectors that hook into the back there for the heated mirrors, and you just pop the new one in. It's all just little clips. Also fixed this. Hopefully you can get some light in here. But so the new clip, got a new visor clip. Very easy. There's two screws, one right here, and unscrew the old one, put the new one in. It has little tabs that come over and cover it up, and voila, good as new. So that's sticking up nicely. Also took the time to peel off the old leather that was torn and ripped on the steering wheel. I bought a wrap online that didn't end up fitting, so I'm either going to just leave it with this, just like the hard rubber or composite material, whatever this is, for the steering wheel. I may just leave it uncovered, or I may end up getting it custom done either by an upholstery shop or just buying, 2 or 3 feet of leather myself and wrapping it myself. We'll see. That's coming up. Also, on this whole big thing, gonna be taking this knob off, taking this out, getting down into the rubber boot, taking that out. We're gonna be replacing the joint and like the little circle pin thing that holds this in place. We're going to be replacing the shifter arm with a newer one out of a more modern 545i. It is almost the same size, but it comes up a little shorter, and it produces a shorter shift throw. And it's basically like a very cheap way to do a short shift kit. So that's coming up. But first, let's pop the hood. And we're going to get to work under there. All right, so hood's popped open. Gonna open this up, and then what we want to do is remove the fuel pump fuse from the fuse box so that the fuel pump doesn't get any power. We're going to start the car, let it run until it runs out of gas that's in the lines. That way the fuel rails aren't pressurized. So when we take those off, we don't spill gas everywhere. It's just a little bit. All right, so we're in the glove box here. As you can see, you just open the glove box. These two little white tabs, you just turn, and they come apart, and then the fuse box nicely sort of pops down. And then if you need to know where the fuses are, this cool little card comes out, and it'll give you your whole diagram. So we're actually looking for, if you see fuel pump here, 31 and 17. So we're going to go ahead and pull 31 and 17 right now, and then we'll run the car without a fuel pump so we can run it out of gas. All right, so We're out of gas. There shouldn't be any gas left in the rails. Now it's just digging down from the top. Let's do it. Got the fuel rail disconnected, the ignition stuff disconnected. Trying to figure out how to to be able to fully take it off, but that's just some troubleshooting. But I found something interesting. These injectors, yeah, they're pretty toast. Yeah, I think I'm going to be springing for some new injectors. Probably do some new injectors and maybe a new intake system. We'll see. But yeah, these injectors have got a lot of buildup on them. Doubt they've ever been changed. So while we've got everything taken apart, we'll change the spark plugs and we'll get a new set of injectors as well. But let's keep rolling. I'm holding the camera here with a towel because my hands are pretty gnarly. I definitely should have worn gloves, but that's okay. All right, we finally got the intake off. Also going to be taking off the valve or the crankcase vent valve here to replace this gasket. Figured I'd just do all the gaskets at once. This one does show some signs of leaking. So gonna be taking this off. I've got all the gaskets. So got the throttle body off. This bolt down here was really jammed up. You can see it's pretty dirty. And then obviously here is the top end of the crankcase with the intake manifold, and you can see just how filthy everything is. So I'm gonna give this a really good clean, a good vacuum. I'm gonna clean off this water pipe, and that goes back in right here and then connects into right there. Maybe it's not a water pipe actually, it might just be like a vacuum. I think it's a vacuum line. But regardless, I'll be cleaning that up because this is also filthy. Yeah, it's just, you know, 20 years worth of grime and goop and nastiness. So before I get to working on these seals, I'm going to get some rags to plug up the intake ports, and then yeah, and then from there cleaning, vacuuming, and then obviously gonna replace these crusty old gaskets on the intake. So let's do it. So just that water or vacuum line, look how well that cleaned up. I mean, that thing was black. It just goes to show you how gnarly that thing was. It's not perfect. There's still some gunk inside there, but I can't imagine all that junk that's in there, and not only in this line, but in all the other lines, the intake, the injectors, all throughout the top end. Can't imagine that that's not going to help. Alrighty, so new gaskets installed on both ends. I'm hoping that does the trick. Some of them look pretty brutal. But yeah, now I'm gonna clean out the rest of the top end there, just with the rag, get as much of the goop as I can, and then start putting stuff back together. While everything's taken apart, I'm also gonna do the spark plugs, and then I'm gonna spray this air filter lid black because it's got this goofy white skull thing sprayed on it. So I'm just gonna spray that black, and then just do some general cleaning. Hopefully that should end our misfire problem. I'm out here working on my car and special delivery. I hope this is what I think it is. Perfect. Very good. This is my favorite part of changing air filters, is going from OEM Fram. It's actually pretty new. I'm gonna hold on to that as a backup. To nice and shiny. New. Like a glove. So you saw me vacuuming that out. Yeah, definitely recommend doing this on every new car, or every used car I should say, that you buy. Always get a new cabin filter, because the seller said, oh yeah, there's new cabin filters, but there actually just weren't any in here at all. So gonna pop some new ones in here. Simple as that. Very easy to change out on this car. A lot of cars are pretty easy. A lot of them you'll find them somewhere in the engine compartment. Some of them are on the inside underneath the glove box. But again, always something I recommend to anybody who just got a car for the first time. So let's go do the other one, and then we're just waiting for the mail to arrive so we can put our new fuel injectors in, and then we can finish up the engine bay. So new spark plugs. Got to be very careful not to strip these bolts out, these studs. The block's aluminum and they pull out real easily. So yeah, you don't have to put a lot of torque on those little bolts, on those little nuts to get the ignition coil in there, because it'll just pop right out. They're very fragile. But yeah, got all 4 new spark plugs. A couple of them were really gnarly. A couple of them looked okay, but glad to do it. Resprayed that lid. Got a new K&N filter in there. All right, new day. The injectors came in, but I had to go pick them up at FedEx, and then it was late, and then started watching a movie, so here we are, next day. But injectors are here, ready to put in, and cross my fingers, I think that's it. Let's do it. Fingers crossed, everything is reconnected, everything is in its proper place, even the throttle cables. So I actually took the time to tighten some of these. This one was really loose. I think this is the cruise control. One of them's cruise control, one of them is the regular throttle. They were both a little loose, so I tightened them up a tiny bit. Everything should be connected. I didn't put on the covers on the sides yet. And obviously didn't put on the plastic engine cover, but gonna prime the pump, make sure there's no fuel leaks, and then try to start it up. Hold on. The fuel system's priming. No leaks so far. That's good. Hold on, it's still priming. It's going to take a sec to prime because it was totally empty.
Can I take my foot off the clutch?
Okay, give it a start. Alright, so we had a bit of a false start because I guess the battery was almost dead. Let's try it again. Alright, sorry my camera died, so I had to go charge it, but it started super rough. I turned it off, looked around, couldn't figure anything out, restarted it, and it sounds very good. There's no bobble in the revs. I think once it cleared out all the gunk and got the fuel system fully pressurized, it's good. I mean, you can hear it. It's very smooth. Power is good. It feels like it's all there. So I think that's it. I think I did it. I think I fixed the dang misfire after a little bit of a close call. I think it's done. So I'm going to put the engine covers back on. You know, the ignition covers on the sides, and then the engine cover on the top, and that'll do it. that was quite the ride. Pretty big repair, probably one of my biggest. Thanks for joining the Rusty Toolbox. Thanks for joining me. I've got the BMW running now. It's running well. I'm very excited. That's like a really, that was a big repair, and I did it. DIY repair. Got new fuel injectors, new filters, new gaskets. The thing is running very, very well. And now that it is, it makes me wonder, how can we upgrade it? Maybe a little exhaust system. Nothing too crazy, but just to open it up a little bit. All right, so next project is we're going to work on the short shift with the new shift lever and the new shift boot and all that whole thing. And then we'll do a bunch of the interior stuff, leather, door handles, windows. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for joining. Subscribe, like, and I love you guys.